Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and later wished you had stayed silent? Or maybe you shared your dreams with the wrong people and felt discouraged? In life, words have power, but sometimes silence is even stronger. It can protect you, give you peace, and even lead you to success. But here's the truth: most people don't know when to stay silent, and they end up hurting themselves without even realizing it. These are not just random situations. These are moments that can shape your future, your relationships, and even your happiness. If you ignore them, you might regret it. If you understand them, you will have control over your emotions, your energy, and your life. So don't skip this video. Watch until the end, because one of these moments might change the way you think forever. Anger is one of the most dangerous emotions. It makes people act without thinking, say words they don't mean, and destroy relationships in seconds. Have you ever said something in anger and later regretted it? Maybe you hurt someone you love, lost a friend, or even damaged your own reputation. Words spoken in anger are like a sword. You may not see the wound immediately, but the scar remains forever. When you are angry, the best thing you can do is stay silent. At that moment, your mind is not clear. Your emotions take control, and you stop thinking logically. You may feel like speaking will help, but most of the time it makes things worse. Imagine two people arguing, both raising their voices, both trying to win. But does anyone really win? No, they both walk away with pain, regret, or even hatred. The truth is, silence in anger is not weakness. It is wisdom. The strongest people know when to control their words. The next time you feel anger rising, take a deep breath and say nothing. Wait. Give yourself time to calm down. Later, when your mind is clear, you can respond in a way that doesn't create regret. Silence in the moment of anger can save your relationships, your reputation, and your peace. So, why is silence so powerful when you are angry? Because once words are spoken, they can never be taken back. You can apologize, but the damage is already done. Think about it. How many friendships, marriages, or careers have been destroyed just because of words said in a moment of anger? All it takes is one wrong sentence to lose something valuable forever. But here's the good news. Self-control is a skill you can develop. The more you practice silence when you're angry, the stronger you become. Instead of reacting immediately, pause. Step away from the situation if needed. Take a deep breath, count to 10. The moment will pass, and when it does, you will see the situation more clearly. You will respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. A great example of this is successful leaders. They don't let their emotions control them. They know that words have power, and they use them wisely. They stay silent when anger tries to take over, because they understand this simple truth. You will never have to apologize for words you didn't say. Remember, silence is not about running away. It's about choosing your battles wisely and speaking only when your words will bring solutions, not damage. The next time you feel anger taking over, ask yourself, do I want to win this argument, or do I want to win in life? If you want peace, success, and respect, then learn when to stay silent. There will always be people who judge you, misunderstand you, or talk behind your back. No matter what you do, someone will have something negative to say. Maybe they doubt your abilities, question your choices, or spread false stories about you. In moments like these, your first instinct might be to defend yourself, to argue, to prove them wrong. But here's the truth. Silence is often the best answer. Why? Because responding to unfair criticism only gives your critics more power. When you argue with people who don't want to understand you, you waste your energy. They are not listening to learn. They are listening to attack. No matter how well you explain yourself, they will twist your words, find new faults, and continue their negativity. Imagine someone trying to put out a fire by throwing more wood into it. Does the fire stop? No, it grows stronger. The same thing happens when you argue with people who don't want to see the truth. The more you explain, the more they push back. Instead of fighting, choose silence. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them criticize. Meanwhile, you stay focused on your path. The greatest revenge is not words, it's success. Think about some of the most successful people in history. They were criticized, doubted, and even laughed at. But they didn't waste time arguing. They stayed silent, worked hard, and let their achievements speak for them. So what happens when you stop reacting to every unfair criticism? You take back your power. When you choose silence, you show that their words don't control you. You protect your peace and your focus. Think of a lion walking through the jungle. Does it stop to bark back at every small dog that barks at it? No, it keeps walking, unbothered, because it knows its worth. The same principle applies to life. People who criticize you unfairly are often looking for a reaction. When they don't get one, they lose interest. Of course, not all criticism is bad. Sometimes feedback can help you grow. But here's how you know the difference. If the criticism comes from someone who truly wants to see you improve, listen. If it comes from someone who just wants to tear you down, ignore it. Instead of trying to explain yourself to people who don't care, prove them wrong through action. Let your work speak. Let your growth speak. Let your results speak. The more you stay silent and keep moving forward, the more they will realize they wasted their time trying to bring you down. So, the next time someone unfairly criticizes you, ask yourself, is my energy better spent arguing, or is it better spent becoming the person they said I couldn't be? Choose wisely. Excitement can be dangerous. When we have a big goal or dream, we feel the urge to share it with others. We want to tell our friends, our family, or even social media. We expect support, encouragement, and motivation, but often, something unexpected happens. Doubt, negativity, or even jealousy. Not everyone will understand your dreams. Some people will laugh, some will criticize, and some will secretly hope you fail. You might think, but they are my friends, my family. Why would they not want me to succeed? The truth is, when you start aiming higher, it makes some people uncomfortable. Your ambition reminds them of their own fears and failures. Instead of supporting you, they try to pull you back down, sometimes on purpose, sometimes without even realizing it. Imagine a small plant just starting to grow. If you expose it to strong winds too soon, it might break before it gets strong enough to stand on its own. Your dreams are the same. When they are still in the early stages, they need protection. Talking too much about them exposes them to negativity before they are strong enough to survive. So, when you have a plan, keep it private. Work on it silently. Protect it. Let it grow in the dark until it is ready to face the world. Because once you show results, no one can doubt you anymore. The wrong words at the wrong time can kill your motivation before you even begin. You might start doubting yourself just because someone else couldn't see your vision. But remember, your dream was given to you, not to them. They don't need to understand it. Think about highly successful people. Do you ever notice how they don't talk about their moves before they make them? They work in silence, and then, boom, the world sees their success. By the time people notice, it's too late to stop them. That's the secret. Silent moves, loud results. Some people will discourage you, not because they hate you, but because they are limited by their own fears. If they have never seen success, They won't believe in yours. But that's not your problem. Your job is to prove yourself right, not to prove them wrong. The next time you feel like sharing your plans, ask yourself, is this the right time? Is this person the right person to tell? If the answer is no, keep it to yourself. Let your success do the talking. Silence is not weakness, it is a strategy. It protects you from unnecessary problems, helps you stay focused, and keeps your energy where it truly matters. But let's go deeper. Why does silence hold so much power? The answer is simple. Silence gives you control. When you are silent in moments of anger, you control your emotions. When you stay silent in the face of unfair criticism, you control your energy. When you keep your plans to yourself, you control your future. Most people react too quickly. They speak without thinking, argue without purpose, and share without caution. And because of that, they lose control. Think about some of the wisest people in history. They didn't waste time arguing with small minds. They didn't let emotions rule them. They didn't talk about every move before making it. Instead, they observed, they listened, and they acted at the right time. That is what makes a person truly powerful, the ability to know when to speak and when to stay silent. Now ask yourself, how much energy have you wasted in unnecessary arguments? How many times have you regretted speaking too soon? How often has sharing your plans led to doubt instead of encouragement? Imagine how different your life would be if you practiced silence at the right moments. Starting today, make a promise to yourself. I will not let my emotions control my words. I will not waste my energy proving myself to those who don't care. I will not share my plans until they are strong enough to survive. Instead of reacting, start observing. Instead of arguing, start improving. Instead of talking about your dreams, start building them. The more you practice silence in these key moments, the more powerful you become. You will have fewer regrets, more control, and a stronger mindset. This won't be easy. There will be moments when you feel like shouting back, explaining yourself, or sharing your excitement. Pause, take a deep breath, and remember, silence is your advantage. Let others talk, let them doubt, let them criticize. Meanwhile, you stay focused. You grow, you succeed. So, the next time life tests you, ask yourself, is this a moment to speak, or is this a moment to stay silent? Your answer to that question might just change your life. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. When you learn when to stay silent, you gain wisdom, strength, and control over your life. You no longer waste your energy on meaningless arguments. You no longer seek approval from those who don't matter. You no longer allow negativity to shape your future. When you are angry, when you are unfairly criticized, and when you are about to share your plans. If you master silence in just these 3 areas, you will see a huge difference in your life. You will have fewer regrets. You will gain more respect. And most importantly, you will protect your inner peace. Most people will never understand this. They will continue arguing, explaining, and talking too much. But you now have a choice. Will you continue reacting, or will you start thinking before you speak? Will you waste time proving yourself to doubters, or will you let success speak for you? Will you tell everyone your plans, or will you work in silence until you achieve them? The choice is yours. But remember this, the strongest people are not the loudest. They are the ones who know when to stay silent. Now, if this message made you think differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's spread the power of silence together. And if you're ready to take control of your words, your energy, and your future, start today. Because the less you react, the more powerful you become.